From a sold-out Olsen Field at Bluebell Park, you're watching the SEC on ESPN. And the continuation of a rivalry that dates to the early 1900s, it's never seen the vitriol that we've seen this weekend here in College Station. Former Aggie head coach Jim Schlossnagle's brought the Longhorns to town, and he has been greeted as you would expect from the 12th man that once had him beloved as he played for a national championship in 24 and then took the Texas job the very next day. Welcome, everybody. Tom Hart, Chris Burke, and Kyle Peterson. Texas A&M came away with a one-run victory last night, game one of this series, and the Aggies sent a message to the college baseball world.
They did, and their fans filled this place up with as much juice as we've seen here. We've been here quite a few times, and I can't remember an atmosphere as electric as the one here this weekend. Last night they were fired up. They have brought it again here this afternoon, and a little rain will not dampen this atmosphere or what this team has put together. A team that started a little slow. Of course, last year they struggled, but this year they have been on a roll. It is led by arguably the best offense in the Southeastern Conference, and boy, did they make a big statement last night. It's a team that feels like they could host, Tommy.
In the college baseball national landscape, it is thought there are two teams to beat, UCLA and Texas. If that's the case, Texas needs to deliver its own message this weekend.
Yeah, they do. I mean, you know, coming to this environment, I think especially night one, for guys that haven't been in it, you can expect maybe some nerves, and we saw a little bit of that. But what we also saw, too, was two of the reasons why Texas has been so consistent. Aiden Robbins, Carson Tinney, two of the top transfers in the country last year. It showed you why they're pretty comfortable wearing the burnt orange right now. Combined for 3 home runs, drove in 5. They hit 2-3 in the middle of this Texas lineup.
And here's a look at the batting order put together by Jim Schlossnagle. Tinney and Robbins hitting second and third, as Kyle mentioned. They got 2 ninth-inning solo home runs last night from Robbins and Anthony Pack Jr. to make it a one-run game, but couldn't close the gap. And day 2 of this series, but perhaps A&M's best pitcher, Aiden Sims, moves up in the order. He was the Sunday starter. And the sophomore from Forney, Texas, gets the ball for his 9th start of the year.
He's been their best on the weekend, and he's coming off his best against a very good Vanderbilt offense last weekend. 7 innings, did not allow an earned run, struck out 8. It's a low 90s fastball, 2 different breaking balls, and a changeup for a kid that has thrown a lot of strikes on the weekend so far this year.
Just a moment ago, a brief rain shower, and we may be dodging the drops throughout the afternoon. First pitch strike from Sims to Ethan Mendoza. Mendoza Jr. from Bedford, Texas, 0 for 4 last night in the leadoff spot, but was hit by a pitch. It's been an up and down season for Mendoza already. And a breaking ball in for a strike. The start that KP mentioned ago against Vanderbilt was Sims' 3rd quality start of the season. He threw a season-high 117 pitches. Did he go? He did not. Derek Malika down the first baseline, and Seth Buckminster has the plate today. Nerves in a setting like this disappear for game 2, or just a tad muted compared to last night?
I think they dissipate. I don't know that they totally go away.
This one will reach the stands on the right side.
Yeah, I do think from a player, obviously the fans are fully engaged again. I think from a player standpoint, you settle into it a little bit more. It's a day game, maybe a little less of the jitters you feel on a game 1 night game. But you know, once these two teams tee it up, there's just so much on the line. Not to mention the rivalry, but 2 of truly the best teams in the country.
4 consecutive one-run games between these programs for only the 2nd time in series history that dates to 1903. Texas swept A&M in Austin last year. Breaking ball hit well to left center field. Caden Sorrell on the run, on the track, and off of his glove and onto the ground. Mendoza will stand up at second base with a leadoff double.
Boy, I thought it was an absolutely perfect route by Caden Sorrell. You looked up, he was right on line with that baseball from the jump. He gets all the way to hanging slider there, KP, as Mendoza goes down and gets it. But Sorrell gets all the way to the wall here. Look at this, perfect crossover, direct path. He gets right to the edge and just clips off the tip of his glove. Love the effort, though, putting his body on the line here to start the ball game. Mendoza, though, with a leadoff double, and here come the horns.
And this is big Carson Tinney, 6'4", 240. One of the most sought-after portal pickups in the offseason as he transferred him after 2 seasons at Notre Dame. OPS over 1,100. He homered and drew 3 walks in Game 1 last night. It was an opposite field 2-iron that he hit into the Texas bullpen. And he sends this one sky high to right. Jorian Wilson camps underneath. Mendoza tagging, strong throw from Wilson, but off target and up the line. Well, we showed you Jim Schlossnagle took Texas A&M to Omaha multiple times. Add in his TCU visits, he's been there 7 times. Now 2nd season at Texas, and 44-15 with the Longhorns. They left the tournament early last year, upset their own regional. And Michael Early, 2nd season as A&M, he was Schloss's hitting coach. A&M had its 19th consecutive winning season last year, but not good enough to make the big dance. Here's Aiden Robbins. Robbins enjoyed a nice night last night.
Yeah, if you like 3 for 5 with a couple homers and 3 ribbies, you know, not bad for a guy that just feels like he's built for the moment. We saw him have one of his best series on the road at Auburn in a hostile environment, and now last night he lit this place up. Just feels like he loves the big stage.
And breaking ball in for a strike. Robbins was lightly recruited out of Holy Ghost High School, Yardley, Pennsylvania, even though he hit over 370 all season. Got an early offer from Seton Hall, committed there, and stuck with it for a couple of seasons. 1 and 2. Is he going curveball slider, or is that a cutter?
He's got 3 different breakables that he's already shown.
And the split
it looks like it. Yeah, it has some downward. You see how he grabs it.
Looks like he's holding it more like a true changeup.
It does, but the spin is really low, and it's got good down when it gets to home plate.
To the left side and smothered, but lost by Kellner, and Texas was going to get the run anyway. It allows Robbins to reach.
Hey, so you go out, you take infield. Everything's normal. Obviously, they're gonna water down the dirt, but they're not going to touch the grass. And it didn't rain that hard, but it rained.
Yes.
That zips at you a little bit different than it did an hour and a half ago.
Definitely. And 103 miles an hour, like that ball's hit hard, and then as you said, KP, it's skipping off the moisture of the grass, and that ball just ate the freshman up. It was going to get the run home anyway, as you said, Tommy, but now you got to deal with the base runner.
And this is Anthony Pack Jr. He homered last night. And count 1-0. So let's back up with the emotion part for just a second, especially as it applies to Aiden Sims, who's thrown 3 different breaking balls already. We saw the changeup that he threw. If you come out of the gate and you're excited and amped up and you get this, like you played in a World Series, so you couldn't be more amped up for a game like that. How does that impact a hitter, or does it?
How does the emotion impact the hitter?
The challenge of the emotion, the amped up, and you're seeing nothing but off-speed stuff.
Oh, yeah, no. It is a tough dichotomy because, again, I think one of the things that this game wars against is your desire to do more, your desire to take it over, because you really have to learn to let the game come to you. And like you said, you got all this juice flowing in a big environment. Really what you want to go up there, line up a 95-mile-an-hour heater and take your A-plus swing. But you get a guy like Sims who can play off of that and decelerate the baseball. It makes life tough.
Ground ball to second, chance for 2. Here's Kellner trying to atone for the error, and he does, and that gets the Aggies off the field. But not before Texas strikes first, and leading off for A&M will be Gavin Grholbeck. 2 extra base hits last night for the Aggies. Well, the best rivalries in college sports. This one facing off on the diamond. First 3-game series between the two here since 1992. And now back in the same league for the second consecutive season. Here's a look at the batting order for Texas A&M. They came into this weekend one of the best power hitting teams in the country, 5th in the nation in home runs, 6th in run production.
Yeah, led by Caden Sorrell, who leads the Southeastern Conference in both homers and ribbies to start this weekend. Just a 1-for-5 night last night, but it's the type of lineup that doesn't have to have Sorrell do everything because there is real depth and length on this club.
Here's Luke Harrison getting the ball for Texas.
I think Texas may have the highest trust factor of all 3 of their starters of anybody in the country. Luke Harrison fits right into that. He's a veteran left-hander. I mean, 15 starts last year. This will be his 9th. He's been really consistent in the league too, and they just win when he's out there. I mean, the last couple seasons, 20-3, he only has 1 career loss. So far in SEC starts this year, 25 1/3, only 15 hits allowed, and he's punched out 15.
For a season high 102 against Ole Miss. And he'll start with Grahovac. Got a double, a triple, drove in a pair last night. That was a back and forth affair. And Texas made it close with a pair of home runs, down 3 in the ninth. 1-0 to Grahovac. Grahovac, a junior from Orange, California. Last year, he was slated to be a key part of a Texas A&M team that was preseason #1 in the country. But due to a torn labrum in his left shoulder, only ended up playing 6 games. The year prior, Grahovac was a freshman All-American, the SEC Freshman of the Year, because he does things like that.
Yeah, and he has been hammering lefties all year, fellas. Comes into this game hitting .480 off left-handers, and we talked about yesterday how much he's just been locked in overall, but you just can't really get away with pitches over the plate right now to Gavin Grahovac, and he gets one basically middle, 108 right back up the box. 2 for 4 last night, starts this one off with another laser.
The leadoff man on for Caden Sorrell. And a breaking ball misses inside to Sorrell. Top 10 in the SEC in average home runs and RBI, leading the SEC in the latter 2 categories. Top 10 in the nation in both of those. 101.
The Aggies overall are hitting .360 versus lefties. Like, this is a team that even Sorrell, you'd think, okay, well, maybe a tougher matchup. Sorrell is over 1,300 OPS versus left-handers. He's hitting .320. So the first 3 guys, Grahovac, Sorrell, and Akopian, are just a handful for lefties.
Shift is on for Texas, and Sorrell fouls it off. He's hit safely 15 of his last 16 games. Ashton Larson is new over at first base. He was an outfielder primarily, both at his previous school, LSU, then when he got to Texas, but they've had to shuffle some things around due to an injury on the left side of the infield. And a line shot up the middle.
Simple approach so far, middle. 2 guys that really get this offense going and were a major part of it last night, get things started early today.
And an early opportunity for Chris Akopian, who saw 2 pitches in his first 2 at-bats last night. Maryland transfer from Potomac, Maryland. Ended up 0 for 5. And he was aggressive early. Didn't see his 3rd pitch until his 3rd at bat.
Well, this is a dream start for the Aggies. Look at these splits, fellas. 203 versus righties, 571 versus left-handers.
OPS difference is 1,000.
So you talk about a dream scenario, it is right here.
Tried to backdoor him 2-0.
think about it last night. Akopian and Sorrell didn't really get anything done, yet this offense still put up 9.
Sorrell drove in, too.
That's fair.
And allowed the defense to kind of dictate what he was going to do.
9 runs and only 7 hits. It was a 3-run 6 that turned the tide, and Aggies benefited from 5 walks in that frame. Caught him looking, and that's the first out of the inning for Luke Harrison.
Yeah, Luke Harrison will show you a few different breaking balls, too. It's a curveball, a slider, and a cutter. We haven't seen a cutter yet, but that was a curveball that right-handers just give up on. Starts off the plate. Look how quiet Tinny is catching that curveball, too. He's not following it in. He's just waiting for it to get to him. You steal a lot of strikes that way when that glove stays quiet until it hits the middle of it.
Pitch upstairs to Jake Dewar. Senior from Flower Mound, Texas. Stops at both TCU and Florida Atlantic for Dewar. Only 8 games as a Horned Frog before he made his way to Boca. And he was only able to get in 34 starts last year before injuries. Blown away. Texas infield has shuffled some pieces around. Adrian Rodriguez is their starting shortstop typically, but Temo Becerra is over at short now. Rodriguez is close to coming back. In fact, Jim Schlossnagle told us yesterday he could be able to help defensively, but he just had to have a staple taken out of his wrist due to previous injury and surgery in the fall. And they don't want him swinging a bat for at least a little bit longer. Just got the stitches out a couple of days ago. Fouled off.
Yeah, injuries are a part of every team story. Hakopian was out early for Texas A&M. There's always, it's a long journey. There's always some curves on the road. But it feels like for this team, you'd never want your shortstop out. But it does allow them to find some other pieces, and especially a guy like Larson, get him consistent at bats. And you feel like maybe over the long haul, you become,
great depth.
That's right, and a more complete team. You're seeing Becerra at short and Borba at third.
And think about it, too. I mean, when they got Temo Becerra in the transfer portal, you knew Rodriguez is coming back. You know Borba's coming back. You know Mendoza's coming back. Like, you already know pretty much what your starting middle infield is probably going to look like. But you went and got a guy that started 55 games at shortstop last year. So when something does happen, however long it may be, you plug somebody in that's been out there.
Here's a 3-2 to Jake Dewar with 2 aboard.
Dewar just fights, doesn't he? And again, I love what Michael Early told us coming into this series. They knew they had so much slug. They wanted bat to ball, and Dewar, a kid that can work a count as well as anybody in the country.
9th pitch of the at-bat. And missed with the fastball. Aggies have loaded the bases.
Little spice on the bat flip after the walk there. Jake Dewar, I mean, again, a kid who just knows how to put together ABs. How about this here, Tommy? Watch this. Just a little Juan Soto flair after a walk.
That's when you know that you're comfortable taking a walk. When you earn it that way and it finishes like that.
Sack swell for Nico Partito, homered last night. Freshman from Manville, Texas, Partita drew 2 walks, had 2 hits, including one that left the yard. Healthy cut, 1-1.
This Baseball America has Nico Partita as the #1 freshman in the country from a draft prospect ranking, and getting to see him with my own eyeballs for the first time, you can see why. Boy, is he is extremely advanced as a hitter.
A lot of labor for Harrison in this opener. That one's fair down the line and into the corner. 2 runs will come home. Dewar will be stopped at third. 2-run double for Nico Partita.
I mean, fellas, he's 5 at-bats in. He still hasn't made it out in this series.
Juicy got a slider. Watch this thing come back into the barrel, and Partita just shorten up and rip it just inside that third base line. That is what a future superstar looks like right there. They got 3 freshmen that have a chance to be really special for the next 3 years, and that's one of them.
Terrence Keel batting in the rain and amidst the bubbles. And the first pitch misses upstairs.
I mean, the bubbles are at a new level, I feel like, for this weekend. It's like...
It's a tough day to be a bubble, though, when you got all the rain firing at you. Just shortens your lifespan.
It's actually raining right
As
now.
heavy as it's been all day, Keel puts it in play. Forba had an error, and it was off about Keel's foot.
And it is coming down.
Grounds crew standing at the ready.
I think you're calling this one.
And we expected this to occur at some point before we were able to finish the game. Happening in the first inning with the laboring Luke Harrison, who's thrown 25 pitches to this one. I hope somebody's guarding the sofa out in Aggie Alley.
Is it outside?
Yeah.
I tell you what, this field's taking on a lot of rain right now, boys. By the time they get this tarp down, it's going to take some time to get it ready to play again.
So 2-1 A&M lead here in the bottom of the first inning. We'll send it to a break, and coming up shortly we'll get you to ACC action with Virginia Tech and Boston College. And if they can get the tarp on the field, we'll be in a delay of some magnitude here in Aggieland. As of now, in the rain showers, A&M with a first inning lead. Ravi, thank you for Fenway Park to Bluebell Park. You're watching the SEC on ESPN, and we are ready to get restarted. Home half of the first inning. It was an eventful first frame before the range came. Ethan Mendoza started this game with a leadoff double, and he would come home a couple of batters later on an Aiden Robbins ground ball that was played into an error by Boston Kellner. Things would get right for A&M in the bottom half of the inning after a couple of singles from Gavin Grahovac and Caden Sorrell. Nico Partita delivered this 2-run double and looked like we were going to have a great day at the ballpark, and then Mother Nature said not so fast. Hour and 38 minutes, the rains came hot and heavy, and that got the tarp having to be reset and a lake on the field. In fact, they couldn't pull the tarp until the Aggies came out and helped the grounds crew, and that finally got it to cover the diamond. And so it took a little while to get us ready for play, but here we are. Tom Hart, Chris Burke, and Kyle Peterson. Game 2 of this rivalry series between Texas A&M and Texas, a series that started in 1903. Luke Harrison got the start for Texas, and he is right back out there. He has already thrown 25 pitches in this opening frame with an hour and 38 in between. 2 on, and Terrence Keel, the second, off the glove of the catcher Carson Tinney, but they didn't jump on it. Jake Dewar had a chance. It's kind of tough first play out.
That was a weird first play, and yeah, I'm with you. I think Dewar had a chance. Watch out for the safety squeeze right here. This one, to me, as we see this ball, it's a hard read for the guy at third because the angle's tough to see how far the ball actually got away. But this one sets up for a safety squeeze right here. Wouldn't shock me at all.
So one pitch into the restart, and Keel lets it drop low.
Now you're swinging for sure. 2-0.
What are the mechanics of dealing with the rain delay over an hour and a half?
I think just staying loose, right? Especially for these pitchers, KP, don't you think?
Yeah, you got to keep moving. I mean, you don't have to throw. In fact, you don't want to throw, but you definitely got to keep moving.
Harrison delivers. And a great job by Carson Tenney to bring that one back over the edge. Full count now to Keel. Terrence Keel II knows his rivalry well. His dad played football at A&M, played in the football version of it.
Oh, wow.
Keel just had to double check, and Aggies have loaded the bases.
Couldn't tell whether he thought that was strike 3. It looked like everybody was a little fooled here. Carson Tenney, I think, thinks it's a strike.
He absolutely does. Terrence Keel's waiting to go. Did I hear anything?
Yeah.
No, I didn't hear anything.
All right. Yeah.
I'm going to turn around.
Big opportunity for the big freshman Jorian Wilson. 6'4", 240 out of Hallettsville, Texas. And he's got an 11-game hit streak going. Didn't take the crowd long to get revved back up, that's for sure. Another sellout here at Bluebell Park. What a scene. Drops in for a strike.
KP, another day, another left-hander standing all the way on the first base side of the box here, trying to give these left-handers as hard a time as possible, picking up the release point.
It just gives that ball that much more time on the glove side slider. So the slider out away from the left-hander to move even more. And most of the reason why the left-handers will go on that side.
Bases juiced, opening frame. And Wilson couldn't find it. Second strikeout for Luke Harrison.
He stayed breaking ball heavy right there to the freshman. Just saw the swing through, stayed with it. Big strikeout right there for Harrison, who did not look overly comfortable at the start of this game.
Head coach Michael Early, top step of the dugout. You saw Jim Schlossnagel a moment ago. 2 years ago, he was the head coach here at A&M and took him to a win away from a national championship. This is Bear Harrison. And he rips it into left field. That'll plate at least 2. Keel's got wheels. He'll stop at third. And it's a 2-run double off the bat of Bear Harrison, who wasted no time.
Well, it's an Aggie offense that just loves left-handers. And as the crowd celebrates with another bubble shower, we see an offense that, again, just has as much danger and potential at the bottom of the lineup as any in this league. A hanging breaking ball, Bear Harrison ready to hit. Watch this gather here. Slow down, gather, see the breaking ball, rips it down the left field line. Aggies with a 4 spot in the first.
You said any in the league, maybe any in the country. Popped up and into the seats on the right side. A&M entered the weekend 5th in the country in home runs, 3rd in slugging, and 3rd in walks. Patience and power.
You got an 8-hole hitter with an on-base percentage above 500 and OPS above 1100. Feeling pretty good about that 1 through 9.
And Tenney brought that one back up. First inning runs allowed, only 1 over the first 13 league games, but 4 already today.
How big is that 3-2 call on Keel look now? Backdoor breaking ball that was kind of a 50-50 pitch that went the way of the Aggies, and they tacked on 2 more cents.
Austin Keller at 1 for 3 last night, and Tenney tried with that one again. Carson Tenney behind the plate, one of the best defensive catchers in all of college baseball. Tenney was talking about his ability to frame pitches. He said, I like to think of it like a train station. It's on the same route, but it's going to have different stops along the way. Huge pitch, first base open in the 3-2 to Boston Kellner. They loaded him again. Third walk of the opening frame for Luke Harrison. Aggies sent 10 to the plate in the first at least, and this is the return of Gavin Grahovac, who started this first inning almost an hour 45 ago with a single.
I know Luke Harrison has walked 3 in this first inning. I would be really careful with the first pitch right here.
You know, it's just crazy. We used to talk about protection all the time in baseball, and that really has gone away with pitchers really throwing any pitch in any. I mean, that's a 3-2 breaking ball, the 9-hole hitter, with the hottest hitter arguably in the league on deck to load the bases. And I get that he feels comfortable throwing breaking balls for strikes, but that didn't look like he was trying to throw that 3-2 breaking ball in the zone. That's a mistake that could really cost him here.
Got the infield shifted for Grahovac. And he sends it the opposite way. High fly ball. Duplantier on his horse to the wall. Off the top of the fence. 3 runs home. Grahovac hustling for third. A bases clearing triple for Gavin Grahovac, and the Aggies are rolling here early.
I mean, he's the hottest hitter in the country. It is as locked in as you could possibly be. And to walk again, to throw a non-competitive full count pitch to the 9-hole hitter and get to Gavin Grahovac was just a really risky play. And boy, did he make him pay.
The hottest hitter, the one of the most powerful. Caden Sorrell launches it to right. Duplantier again. That's off the top of the fence. Aggies have brought the lumber here in game number 2.
It absolutely poured here. And they all came back. And the minute they all show up, this Aggie offense just keeps knocking balls off the wall all over the ballpark.
Jim Schlossnagel greeted by the Aggie faithful as he comes out for a pitching change. We've got bubbles and boos. And for the 12th man in the student section, plenty of time to prime the bubbles and probably a little bit of time to prime the other boos too. Harrison won't make it out of the first. Grahovac a triple, Sorrell a double, and the Aggies rolling.
The Aggies are rolling, flexing the muscles of maybe the most potent offense in America. A rocket off the right center field wall. Grahovac, Sorrell doing the heavy lifting, nearly a 2-run homer, and the Aggies chase Harrison in the first. What a scene here at Bluebell Park.
That kind of afternoon for Luke Harrison. He waited out the long rain delay, but in the end, 8 earned, the most allowed in a career, and occurred in just 2/3 of an inning. And this inning may have changed on this pitch to Terrence Keel.
It looked like a strike. And I think the reaction, you can see Tinney's reaction right there. Pointing at him like, all right, that's strike 3, and then nobody hears anything. And that changes it because a strikeout followed it would end the inning. And this guy changes a lot of things when he steps up. Single and a triple in the first for Grahovac. The last swing drove in 3. The double off the wall in right center drove in another.
Here's Chris Akopian at the plate. He's trying to join the hit party. He's 0 for 5 in the weekend. Michael Early took over the hitting duties this season and has paid off to short. Sarah handles it, and that will finally mercifully close the opening frame. 12th man can feel it. Michael Early as stoic as ever. It's an 8-1 A&M lead through 1. Series began in 1903. He's got a little bit more juice the last couple of years with the coaching defection of Jim Schlossnagle to Austin. Here's a look at the SEC standings. Georgia, cream of the crop, 11-3, and the nation's leader in home runs. Texas, right behind them, A&M and Alabama.
Yeah, we're starting to get a little separation. I think, Georgia with a big answer back. The Aggies are certainly making some serious noise here of late. I think we're going to end up in this league with a ton of teams between 13 and 17 wins.
Absolutely. It's felt like that from the very beginning. I don't think there's anybody that's light years better than the rest.
Hayden Sims threw 14 pitches in the first inning. That was a couple hours ago. That touch for a leadoff double by Ethan Mendoza, who would come around to score a couple batters later. And Sims starts with Temo Becerra. All right, so walk us through the pitching side of things, KP. How hard is it to get back on the mound after such a long delay?
Most of these guys, both these guys, may not have ever done this. Honestly, to where you wait. It's one thing if it rains, it's a half hour. This was well over an hour and a half, I think, by the time that they got back out there. So ultimately, Hayden Sims had been on the mound for 2 hours. I think you need to rely on your trainer and those that have been through it before just to keep him moving around. Probably got through, stretched again. Then he's got all the time in the world that he wants to warm up, just like he would pregame.
Sims had been the Sunday starter for A&M. Michael Early bumped him up in the rotation after a sensational performance against Vandy last time out. 7 innings and only 3 hits. This is Casey Borba. And Bear Harrison having a bit of an issue with pitch count. 2 hours battery may have drained.
Yeah.
Well, regardless, if you're Hayden Sims, I know you just plunked the first batter he faced, but you walked in the dugout 2 hours ago.
Down 1-0.
Yeah. A power nap and some Uncrustables. You go back out there 2 hours later, you're up a touchdown.
Probably feeling a little bit different.
Easier to get over the disappointment of hitting a guy on your first pitch when you're up 7.
Sims officially sat for 2 hours and 7 minutes between the first bottom of the first, then the delay, and the conclusion of it. Coming out of the delay, Aggies went walk, K, double, walk, triple, double, ground out. And both of those extra base hits were about a foot from leaving the yard apiece. Maybe he left the gear in the rain.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. He left it outside the dugout. Maybe a little waterlogged at this point.
What would we do if we actually had to put
Let's
fingers
not
down?
have to put our fingers down and give signs.
Could you
we
imagine?
Don't want to have to do that.
What if you had to say
Doesn't
1,
work.
2, or 3?
Yes.
The crowd's not worried about it. They just are enjoying being out here, and they are really enjoying the current scoreboard configuration.
I'm enjoying the scoreboard and the rain delay.
These guys have figured out how to not have to deal with a wet shirt.
Yeah.
Many people are asking them to put their shirts back on.
They were singing most of the rain delay in between sips.
Yeah. Well, Chili Fest got canceled, so why not go out and catch a ball game?
Chili Fest with no chili.
And right now we're at a baseball game and no baseball.
Yes. Joke's on us.
Hey, this is Chris Burke's hot dog guy.
That's my guy. I got to meet him today. And I really flustered him with what I thought was a pretty simple question of why no ketchup? He just, first of all, he didn't see it coming. I figured it'd be a question he gets asked a lot.
I think it's really cool when two celebrities see each other in public.
It is.
Then I asked him for his autograph. We took a selfie.
Yeah, you're a huge selfie guy. I assumed you'd get one of those.
This is the first 3-game series in College Station since 1992. Back in the Big 12 days, they used to rotate through, whether it was Baylor, A&M, Texas. They'd play a Friday night game at one spot, Saturday and Sunday somewhere else. You were guaranteed a big Friday night crowd with a rival. Oklahoma was in that mix as well. And doesn't look like we'll have another one-run game, but 4 consecutive, dating back to the 3-game series sweep for Texas last year. That's most in the series history since 1903. They did it back in the early 60s one other time.
What makes you think we're not going to have a one-run game tonight, Tom?
Good. Anything's possible.
Anything's possible.
There's a 3-run lead in the 9th last night before Texas hit back-to-back solo home runs. Casey Borman's trying to reset after a poor night at the yard last night. 0 for 5, 4 strikeouts and an error.
Yeah, that qualifies as a game you'd like to move on from.
Junior from Santa Ana, California, played at Powerhouse Orange Lutheran. His dad was a head coach at Orange Lutheran and then followed a playing career at Sonoma State.
Pretty good cutter right there. This is like the old school cutter, one that doesn't have any depth. You started on the outside part. It's more of a barrel misser, but it's got enough movement away. Watch this late movement. Borman just can't quite reach it. That is a perfect spot to throw that pitch.
And it brings Ashton Larson to the plate. First pitch 94 for a strike. From Overland Park, Kansas, played at St. Thomas Aquinas, just outside of KC, and started his college career at LSU. Limited last year due to a quad injury with the Tigers. 0-2.
That one is dirty. He grips it. It's almost like a palm. He'll grip it before he goes into his glove. Look at all his fingers around it. The movement makes it look like a split.
Two to Larson, who was a late entry into the portal. A&M missed out on a couple of other guys that they thought would be competing for an outfield spot. Pardon me, Texas did, and so they found Larson, who was a 20th round pick of the Twins coming out of high school. They had a transfer from Butler, Jack Naroknik, and he ended up going in the draft to the Nationals in the 11th round. Upstairs, full count, trying to replace Will Gasparino, who went off to UCLA, and he's having a monster season in Westwood.
Longhorns ended up with a decent center fielder themselves. They're okay with that.
3-2.
Good take.
You know, we talked last night, if you weren't with us, about how both of these teams have a very similar approach in terms of being very patient. It sounds very simplified. Swing at balls in the zone. Don't swing at balls out of the zone. Chris Burke last night used the phrase good take about 79 times. And you were right every time.
Yeah.
But it's not usually something that comes into play as often with these two teams.
Yeah, well, yeah, these two teams, they are so trained to put on the brakes on pitches that are outside the white of the plate. And you look at swing rates, you look at walks. The numbers don't lie as far as the way these two coaching staffs teach swing decisions.
This is Jaden Duplantier, senior from Humble, Texas. Baseball family, his brother Andre played here. Cousin John played at Rice before getting to the big leagues with the Diamondbacks. Berkey, what about his movement at the plate? Trying to sync the hands with the leg kick.
Well, this is something Tulo talks a lot about. You see Borba do it. You see Tenney do it. There's a rhythm associated with that hand movement and a little bit of that barrel dancing. And then when the knee comes up, the barrel's supposed to come up. They're trying to time the two of those things. There's a flow and a rhythm to it that a lot of these guys have. If you watch back in the day, Tulo had a very, very similar move. There's a kind of a freedom with it, but also very much a rhythm, and it gets your body into a good separated position when you can sync it up.
But when you can't?
It could cause timing issues for sure. Like I don't love the way his barrel gets away from him. Like I like the hand movement and a little bit of the circular motion. He's got, watch the barrel tip here right before he goes. See how far away the barrel gets from him there? That to me is a lot to sync up, a little bigger, a little louder than you would traditionally teach.
Makopian back, and he'll take it himself, backtracking. 2 down.
See, the last night the wind was kind of pushing the ball in. Today the wind is clearly helping it. That ball looked like it carried an extra 15 feet. A little gentle breeze kind of blowing out to left center.
It got comfy after that rain. It was 84 degrees, now it's 75. Vest weather.
Like it's always best weather for you. Becerra at second. He was hit by a pitch. Larson at first drew a walk, and here's Josh Livingston. 9-hole hitter, 1 for 2 with a double and a ribby last night. Texas came into this series having won 7 of 8. They started the season 16-0. And ranked right behind UCLA in the national rankings. Won the SEC last year, inaugural season in the new conference.
Started 19-2 in the SEC last year.
And a ton of low-scoring, one-run wins.
Yeah, I think 3 of them against the Aggies.
That's right.
After a long rest, this will be the 20th pitch of the inning for Sims. Sims gets him swinging, second K of the frame. Longhorns leave a pair on to the second. 8-1 A&M.
Every single ounce I can possibly give it. Write that.
I'd like to introduce you to your new head baseball coach, Coach Jim Schlossnagle.
It's not going to be emotional. It's just another game for us.
They might say it's not a more important game, but it definitely feels like it.
The environment's going to be big. It's going to be loud, going to be rowdy. Definitely think we have the advantage.
They're definitely going to have the salty taste in their mouth.
I want to beat him as much as anyone else.
So KP, let's rewind to June of 24. For those who aren't familiar with the story, how seismic was that 48 hours to the sport of college baseball?
It was massive. I mean, what gets lost in the shuffle a little bit is they're a few swings away from winning the national championship. They're in Game 3 of the finals. That was when the interview took place, right after the game of the finals, and it was shortly thereafter. And it wasn't just Schloss. Remember, at that time, it was the entire staff that went to Texas. Then Michael Ehrlich came back to become the head coach.
The staff left. There were players that they were trying to get to come. Some of them said, no, I am marooned to the core. And it was a handful of those returning players that had Texas A&M preseason #1 last year. And they were very loud voices in getting Michael Early to stay on as the head coach, or in some respects return. Jake Dewars spoils it and sends it into the seats. What was your reaction in the moment?
I don't think I was as shocked as maybe
this fan base was shocked.
This fan base was shocked.
Outside of that, those within the game, I don't think there was as much shock.
Yes, I wasn't super shocked. I mean, you're talking about a guy that already gone from TCU to Texas A&M.
Right.
So he'd already proven he's not afraid to go from rival to rival. And clearly, he valued his relationship with Chris Del Conte. I mean, that was a meaningful relationship that clearly influenced him. Now, I think it's one of those deals where the timing of it is brutal. But there's how do you do that in a good way?
From this school to that school?
Yeah,
impossible. Now, we rehashed this last year when we did the same series. Was there a little bit of regret in how he handled that press conference? Yeah,
yes.
He could have handled it.
He said as much.
That's right.
But it's also moments after being that close to winning your first national title on 7 trips to Omaha. Here's Becerra, former Stanford shortstop. 1 down. So upset in their regional last year by UTSA, and they came in with plenty of promise this season, and they've delivered so far. 4th in the country in ERA. They haven't lost a conference series.
Yeah, they wanted to continue the high standard of pitching, which they clearly have done. This series was standing, but the offense was really where they went back to the drawing board. They wanted to get more athletic. They wanted to strike out less. They clearly wanted to hit the ball at the ballpark more, and they have checked all those boxes.
Nico Partida's had a big series. Routine fly ball. Duplantier got kind of caught in between. He had an experience last night. I thought it was very nice of you to bring that up at the cage today. Hey, remember that fly ball you missed? It was good. I'm poking fun at you, but you've lived it. You know the feeling, and you're able to connect with him. And he admitted, I was lost.
Just, there's not a ton of people that can empathize with losing the ball with thousands of people watching you. It's not a fun feeling. It was kind of a hug, is really I was trying to do.
It was.
I've been there, bro.
It was a verbal hug.
That's right.
And he did mention, he said, my guys were yelling at me. Robin said he was yelling at me. I couldn't hear a thing.
They were trying to help him out.
Gill will return on the 1-1 count. A lot of thumpers in this A&M batting order, and a couple of them on the bench right now. How does Terrence Keel fit into Michael Early's plan in terms of lineup construction?
Yeah, it's a little bit like the Dewar part of this lineup, where it's more bat to ball. It's clearly less slug, but it's also a hitter that you'd feel comfortable with playing the small game with a little bit more. And so it's interesting. You have Dewar up there after 3 sluggers, and then you go Partida, then Keel. And so if you went 1, 2, 3, and then 4 and 5 got on in the second, you could bunt with Keel. You could do some things with him that are maybe a little non-traditional for a 6-hole hitter. And so Michael Early's tried a few different pieces, but Keel gives him defense, and then he gives him an at-bat that's a little bit different than the rest of the lineup provides.
We know, too, that there are those guys, and this is the way that it sounded when we talked to Michael Early the other day, that the coach just has trust in him. And it's the entirety of their game. Terrence Keel is one of those guys.
But he is in a major slump right now. Didn't get off the bench in the Vandy series last week, and just won for his last 26. Drew Walken scored his first plate appearance of the day. He also got hit by a pitch yesterday in the ear flap.
Yeah, you could argue the walk that he had in the first inning was the biggest at bat of the ball game, even though it didn't drive in a run, but it kept that inning going, and then the Aggies exploded.
And he sends it to center. Robbins will hop at the end. It's a 1-2-3 frame work by Max Grubbs. Aiden Robbins has a big bat. He's due up third in the third for Texas.
Let me tell you a story about when a rolling tide clashed with baseball royalty.
Both games were just two heavyweights going at it.
An SEC storied film, summer of '83, Wednesday at 8 p.m.
Texas versus Tide, our next SEC story. Mendoza leading off. Doubled and scored to start this game. That was a while ago.
Yes, it was.
Yeah, that would fall into the when we thought we'd make our flight time period, which has since passed.
We put that to bed. 8 home runs, 31 driven in for Mendoza. He was playing at Arizona State before he came to Texas. Had a battle through a shoulder injury last year. He's named to the SEC defensive team. And now with the injury to Adrian Rodriguez, he's playing short instead of second. Or pardon me, he's at second, but he didn't have any appearances or starts in his college career at short, and they've had to shuffle some guys around. You're going to get Adrian Rodriguez back and probably not too far off, but now you've got some depth.
Yeah, they definitely have been able to find some positional flexibility, and Rodriguez might be back as early as next week.
Poke to the right side. Acopia.
I think the hope with Rodriguez is not just that he's back, but he's actually healthy. He really hasn't been healthy very much in a Texas uniform. He hurt his hand last year, played through it. They got a different diagnosis. Then they had the surgery. Then they had issues post-surgery, right? Then they had to go back, and now he's taking time off and now they're hoping like this. Now we're really going to be able to see the best version of Adrian Rodriguez.
It was a really odd result. He had a staple placed into his wrist that normally would just stay, but they found out that he's allergic to the material the staple is made of. So it had to be removed. That resulted in sutures, and then finally got those out. 4 straight retired now by Sims.
I thought it was interesting, too, talking to this Texas coaching staff. They were talking specifically about the power. So he had 7 home runs last year in 49 games. Doesn't have any this year, but the hands bothered him from day one this year. So they think that now, pain-free, when he comes back, not only do you get the centerpiece defensively in the middle, but a guy that may show that juice that they know is in there.
There's plenty of pop in this lineup already. Top half of the SEC in home runs. Here's Aiden Robbins. And a great example of that. Robbins went yard twice last night. What do you like about his game, Berkey?
I like the fact that he likes the big stage. I feel like a heightened level of performance that you've seen from him in some of their biggest series. Last night was a perfect example of it. He goes oppo and dead central. Again, 3 for 5, 2 homers, 3 RBIs. This one right here was loud on a first pitch breaking ball, KP, and rocket out to dead center field. Ballpark was playing big last night, too.
Yeah, especially that part of the park.
From just outside of Philly, we were talking to him at the cage today, and he said, you know, I grew up a Phillies fan. That was my mom's team. Then I adopted my dad's team, and now I'm a Yankees fan.
He said he took all his dad's teams, left his mom's team. So if Mr. and Mrs. Robbins are listening, he just hope that's not new news.
And he launches it to left field. Keel will watch it fly, and it's his 3rd of the series. It cleared the bleachers and left.
I mean, this dude is hitting. No doubters.
I mean, we showed the graphic a minute ago. His first 2 years at Seton Hall, not last year, first 2 years at Seton Hall, he had 12 home runs total. Well, numbers 12, 13, and 14 have now come in the last 2 days.
Another off-speed pitch, a changeup just sitting in the middle of the plate. And that's the other thing, Tommy. We've seen him hit a heater out, a slider out, and now a changeup out. We've also seen him go to straightaway right, dead center and straightaway left. So if you're Aiden Robbins' agent, like clip the last 5 at bats or so. I think that's a pretty good highlight reel.
He's going to have a new favorite team here in about 2.5 months when the draft rolls around too.
Yeah, that's right. It used to be the Yankees. Maybe it could be the Yankees.
It could be.
Yeah.
Well, I was just going over a scouting report, and there's a line in there that stands out. It says, developing more pull side power. Yeah, I'd say. Here's Anthony Pack Jr. Bounce into a double play his first time up, and takes a curveball for a strike. Oh, and 2 from Aiden Sims. Pack got one last night.
Yeah, that's the thing. You see a kid like Pack, he can launch one, he's going to drop down a bunt, he could steal a base. Like, he does a little bit of everything.
I said something to him at the cage today. He's like, I wasn't trying to hit it out.
Yeah.
Like,
It's okay,
that's fine.
bud.
You can do whatever you want. Like, home runs are good. They're a good thing.
Don't apologize. Hey, now.
I don't know if he was trying to hit this one out, but Jorian Wilson
the wall
hauls it in. Aiden Robbins, though, is on a power surge with his team down 7. He comes to the plate with 2 out in the 3rd and delivers his 3rd home run in a game and a 3rd. Robbins, with a stumble, has given Texas life. We'll chat with Jim Schlossnagle when we return. On ESPN, Tom Hart, Chris Burke, and Kyle Peterson. Happy to be joined by Texas head coach Jim Schlossnagle. A little bit of everything so far in this series. How did you guys handle the rain delay?
Tried to stay dry. No, I mean, obviously, same thing everybody else did, just kind of wait around, and field crew for the Aggies did a great job, especially when they couldn't get the tarp on. So this field can take a lot of water.
Slosh, Aiden Robbins continues to impress. How have you seen him improve since the time he got on campus?
Well, he's always, as we talked before the series started, he's always used right field really well, and then we tried to spend some time on helping him be able to pull the ball without topspin.
Mm-hmm.
And then, as we talked, he started doing that and got away from kind of who he really is. He's as good as using the right side of the field as any right-handed hitter that I've had. And now he's tapping into the pull side power.
Yeah, I mean, I'd say home run right field, home run dead center field, home run left field is a pretty good indication.
Yeah, that pretty much covers it.
That's it.
When they put 8 up like that, and you got a patient offense that's out there really to run up counts, what do you tell your guys when they go back out there offensively?
Well, I mean, we still got to play baseball. I mean, we had a game here one year when I was the coach. We were losing 9. Georgia scored 9 in the top of the first. We scored 9 in the bottom and won the game 19-9 on a run rule. So anything can happen. But the Aggies they're on everything, and we know Sims is a really good pitcher. So we got our work cut out for us for sure.
Schloss, thanks for your time. We appreciate it.
Thanks,
All right, you guys, safe travels home.
You got it. There's a chopper right back to the mound, and
boy.
throws high, and Jorian Wilson's going to head to second. Second error of the series for Texas.
Guys, that's as high a ball as I've seen bounce in a while to the pitcher. I mean, that ball was in the air like a punt.
Especially after it poured not long ago.
Did it hit the front edge of the plate?
This is one you feel like you got to call for a fair catch before you get it and then fire it over to first.
This is a bad feeling as a pitcher, KP, am I right? Yeah, that hit
hurry.
Please land.
Hurry.
It may have hit the back of the plate.
It really did. It looked like it bounced the back edge of the plate.
Because if that hit in the dirt, it would have been plugged. So another runner in scoring position for A&M, and now Bear Harrison. Made solid contact his last time up. Drove in a pair with a double. Harrison's a junior from Danville, California, transferred to A&M from St. Mary's. And last week against Vanderbilt, a big series win for A&M. He went 5 for 10 and drove in 7, homered 3 times.
I think the interesting thing about this Aggie lineup is there's so many different dudes in there that could get hot and carry you on any given weekend. It's just hard to see this offense not playing good week in and week out.
For me, there's a lot of similarities.
Wow.
Yeah. Jordan Wilson standing on second baseman through the pitch. There's a lot of similarities between A&M's offense and Georgia Tech's offense. And actually a lot of similarities between the two teams.
Yeah.
I think the question just becomes, you think the offense is going to go. Can you pitch enough for it to really carry through?
And that one kicks away from Tenney. Wilson head to third, and it goes into the dugout. Well, he gets one base from the mound. And Wilson will be at third. Harrison reaches. Carson Tenney's a big dude. And it was interesting talking to Nolan Cain before the game that they don't ask Carson Tenney to set up anywhere but right behind the plate. So what does that mean? And sometimes if the pitch is going to be errant, he's got a little farther to go. If he's set up on the edge, maybe he stays in front of that one.
Well, we've seen these Texas pitchers test him quite a bit in this series. I mean, he's been forced to block quite a few breaking balls in the dirt.
Two and 0. Action in the Texas bullpen. Launched into left field. Pack into the corner. Makes a running catch. Wilson tagging from third. And a sac fly. Plates another for A&M.
Boy, this is nice on both ends. First, Boston Kellner just doing a good job of staying inside the baseball and keeping this thing fair. Good job of contracting his hands. And then Anthony Pack Jr. just continues to impress this weekend. The home fans are not impressed, however, with number 22 in burnt orange.
They were a couple years ago. Can't turn back the clock. And it'll go to the bullpen for Brody Walls, second reliever of the game for Texas. Well, you make a pitching change in a ballpark that used to be yours, but is no longer, and you'll hear about it. Then again, he's worn 3 different uniforms in this ballpark, and when he was wearing purple, he heard the same.
Yeah, he did, and then they left here and went north to Omaha.
Well, speaking of, Wednesday's Jackie Robinson Day. We've got a special ESPN telecast for you. Mets and Dodgers finish up their 3-game series. Joe Buck, Ron Darling, Oral Hershiser on the call. Coverage begins at 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific with Carl Ravitch and the Baseball Tonight crew from Dodger Stadium. Shohei's supposed to get the start for the 2-time defending champions. He's 1-0 with an ERA of 0 for the 4-time MVP. Brody Walls, new arm for Texas, freshman from McKinney.
He can run it up there now. It's big time fastball velocity. Hadn't been out there a whole lot this year. Just 13 1/3. Just 1 SEC appearance so far coming into this game.
is Gavin Grahovac. Single and a triple today. Double and a triple last night.
Freshman's going to find out how sharp his stuff here. You're facing probably the hottest hitter in the Southeastern Conference here, right out of the bullpen.
This is where you don't look at the scoreboard and realize this is a big opportunity for a kid to potentially get himself bumped up the order of where they go out of the bullpen.
Second game of the 3-game series. Jim Schlossnagle used 4 relievers yesterday. He's already repeated with Max Grubbs, who had followed Harrison. Grahovac got fooled on that one, 2-2. Into right center field. This is Robbins. And 2 down.
Deep breath. Ball stayed in the yard.
5 straight sliders.
Good start.
This is mid to sometimes upper 90 stuff.
Yeah. He's ripping that slider though.
Yeah.
89 mile an hour. They say he has a cutter and a slider, so I would assume that 89 is the cutter.
Here's Caden Sorrell. A couple of hits and a run scored for Sorrell. And for those of you watching us on ESPN2 right now, be aware that at the top of the hour we will switch over to ESPN News. If you're watching on the app, you don't have to go anywhere. In for a strike, 0-2 at 96. This series delivered last year. It has been a barn burner so far through a game and a half this year. 4 consecutive 1-run games between these longtime rivals, and secondary ticket market has taken advantage of the anticipation of this. Berkey sold his credential, I heard.
Sold it to the hot dog guy. He was walking in, introduced himself. Hey man, how many 20s you got on?
You weren't supposed to say that.
I got a deal for you,
guys.
Not every day I can do this. That's what he's saying. You want to see my Chris Burke credential?
Glad he didn't make
Right
it
by
to
the
Chili.
catcher.
Glad he didn't make it to Chili Fest. 1-2 now.
I might get you one of those for Christmas.
Me?
Yeah.
I might wear it.
A day late.
Wonder if it comes with bacon.
Could have got it for him for his birthday yesterday. And this ball's sent into right center field. Not a perfect route, but it ends perfectly for Aiden Robbins. Aggies tally another. Don't forget, when we return, we'll be on ESPN News or continuing on the ESPN app. We'll chat with Michael Early, head Aggie, when we return.
With that in mind, you got a pitcher on the mound out here today that has been really solid for you. What were the conversations like during the rain delay, and what's the plan for Sims here moving forward?
Yeah, he's pitching. So I mean, the only positive out of it, which is there's not a lot to see. He'd only thrown 14 pitches, so we kept him moving around, kept him hot. He didn't sit down, so we just kept his body going, kept his arm going. So he's hopefully he's getting settled in.
We had a chance to talk to Gavin after the game last night, just about the approach and how he's gotten to the point that he's so consistent right now. From your standpoint, what have you seen that's allowed him to get back to the form that we saw a couple years ago?
Yeah, I think I said it the other day, but he's just letting balls travel. I mean, when you're super big and strong and you got good bat speed, you got time, and with time, you're able to cover different pitches. And he's got an advanced approach, and he's been sticking with it fairly consistently throughout the course of the season.
Michael, thanks for the time. We appreciate it.
Thanks, guys.
9-2, Texas A&M lead thanks to an 8-run first inning. Temo Becerra, center. Sorrell ran from out underneath his sunglasses. Got to go pick those up. Shallow center.
He's lost those a few times. They lost him running into the wall.
There's a way to fix that.
Wear them?
Yeah, how would you do that?
If you wear them, they don't tend to fall off. Back of the hat, not
He's
quite
already
as
got eye
secure.
black on. He didn't need sunglasses.
Well, then why are they on his hat?
Just in case.
In case eye black comes off?
It could rain again.
Okay.
Maybe he's got eyes in the back of his head.
Yeah, I mean.
Casey Borba 0 for 1 of the strikeout. Were there times when there was a mix of sun and clouds that you weren't comfortable wearing sunglasses in the outfield? If it's going to come and go, you always want to wear them?
I mean, if there was a chance of sun, you always wanted to have them with you. Yes. And so, give him the benefit of the doubt. Maybe right now he doesn't feel like he needs them. We know that we see a lot of youngsters in today's game that it's just like the sunglasses are like come with the hat. Even in night games, they have the sunglasses
sewn on
the
backwards.
Hat. Yes.
It's a marketing idea.
There you go.
Michael early was talking about Aiden Sims, and he made a decision to move Sims up in the rotation to get an opportunity here in the second game of this series. He's got 3 quality starts to his name already this year, including last time out against Vandy and against Borba swing.
They may, before the end of the season, they may move him up one more day. It wouldn't shock me here in a couple of weeks if Sims is throwing on Fridays. It's really good stuff, and it's 4 different pitches. I know the changeup got taken deep once today, but that's a plus pitch. The slider right there is a plus pitch. He really has been their ace, and this is a team that was preseason #1, missed the tournament last year, and now they've worked themselves into a position to, if it started today, potentially be a host.
It just feels like a team that's really starting to find their identity and their swagger. Like there's so many good players, and the freshmen are growing up, right? Grahovac's really coming back into his own, and of course, Caden Sorrell's one of the best players in the league. And all of a sudden, you look around, you're like, it has that feeling of a team that is expecting to win regardless of who's in the other dugout.
Well, that was a word that Michael used with us yesterday. He said last year's team, we'd never found the identity, and the identity is what truly helps you when you're in those tight games or you're up against it. So from an outsider's perspective, what would you say the personality of this year's Aggies team?
I think it's just a mature offense that really is going to give you fits to try to navigate for 27 outs. And so there's an air of confidence when you watch them play that they're going to produce offense.
Larson sends it to Sorrell. 1, 2, 3, 4th, and a free souvenir out in left center. Chris Akopian will get things started in the bottom of the 4th. A&M up 9-2. Second week of April. UCLA #1 in the country. Texas right behind them as of now. Boston College is making a name for itself. And LSU's had a roller coaster ride. They're back in the top 25 after a couple of series wins back to back. All right, so top 3 teams, UCLA, Texas, and Georgia Tech. What do you got?
I got a loud weekend so far for Georgia Tech, I'll tell you that. They had 18 strikeouts yesterday for Mr. Redmond. They had to go to 14 innings to beat Rutgers. UCLA's now 125?
26, I thought yesterday was.
Tech's won the first 2 against Florida State. I thought it was interesting. I don't know if you saw the post-game comments from Atlanta yesterday. James Ramsey came out and said, hey, Everybody keeps talking about it. We'll go as far as our pitching. I want you to look at how good our pitching has been in the last 3 weeks.
Right.
And it really has been.
It has. That's a fair comment.
First-year head coach for Tech. They won 17-3 on the Flats today against 5th-ranked Florida State. Made it look easy.
Say that again. Georgia Tech won 17-3 today in Game 3.
Yeah.
Holy smokes. That's a loud sweep.
The Florida State offense is just going to struggle without Miles Bailey. You just can't take him off. But what they're supposed to be able to hang their hat on is the pitching. And first game they lose 4-3 in the 9th inning, and you're thinking, okay, they're gonna be able to hold that offense down. But as the weekend unfolded,
25 runs in the next 2 days.
Here's Jake Dewar. I kind of feel like we had those top 3 teams on there. Maybe we should have made room for Georgia, huh? 5-1 win today, held Florida just 2 hits after Florida took game 1 of the series yesterday.
Yeah, I feel like Georgia is somehow still under the radar, even though they're leading the country in home runs.
They swept
and
Mississippi
leading the
State
Southeastern Conference. Yeah, and I think Texas has grabbed a lot of their headlines just because Georgia didn't start. Texas started at the top, and they have played their way to getting that kind of top billing. But it's pretty hard to ignore what Georgia is doing.
In the ACC tomorrow, 12:30, Carolina on the road at Clemson.
So just talking about Georgia Tech's pitching. In conference play, they have the #2 league ERA. So
and that was his point. Is I understand that there may have been some questions, but go look at what they've done there.
By the way, Clemson and UNC are in the 11th inning, tied at 4. Here's Borba. 2 down. Big sports weekend coming up tonight at 8 on ABC. Nathan McKinnon and the Avs hosts Jack Eichel and the Golden Knights. The NHL playoff push is on. So we got a hockey national championship this afternoon.
Frozen 4 finales today.
Okay. Who we got?
Wisconsin. And
Denver.
Denver. Yeah,
I went to DU for a semester. That's my pick today. I left school early.
Okay.
I went to DU for a semester because we were living in Denver.
Okay.
I finished up at Stanford, so I'm an alum. I'm going to be watching. I brought my sweatshirt too. It's actually the best.
You needed another team to cheer for. You've already got a half dozen.
This rivalry is remembered forever.
There's so many memorable moments in the history between these two programs, no matter the playing surface, and it's one of the reasons this fan base was so amped up to see the former coach in the other dugout. Do you remember KP a couple of years ago? We had the Austin Regional and A&M was there. Mac Brown swung by.
I do.
And we had a long conversation about the rivalry, but specifically how the two fan bases bonded after the bonfire.
Yep.
And he got emotional years later just walking us through that story. Then we went to his house and drank all his
I was going to say, you got emotional later on that night when you figured out where the Cabernet was.
I don't think I've ever heard Chris Burke laugh like that. The third and Partita.
You know we're on TV, right?
Oh, Max the best.
Gosh.
Saw him courtside in Austin a few times this year. Josh Livingston coming up.
No, I definitely laughed louder when Kyle told you to shut up and tell us where we went to high school. But that was up there.
5 straight retired by Sims since the Robbins home run. Here's Josh Livingston. Largest comeback this season for Texas was 3 runs. Most recently down 3-0 against Texas State on March 31st. Came back to that. Promos. Just wide of the bag. Question mark coming into this weekend, KP, was about A&M's pitching. Game 3 starter still to be determined. The bullpen got a big pick-me-up.
Freshcorn was very good yesterday.
Yeah.
I know he gave up 2 solo shots, but still came in and got the last 9 outs to solidify that one. And I like this stuff a lot. Sims looks good, man.
Yeah, it was interesting though what Early said, which is like he's pitching, right? They know that they're
when
limited.
you ask him about playing.
What's that?
He's in the game.
Yeah, he's in the game. He's going to be in the game. He's throwing 100 pitches unless it goes sideways.
Season high buck 17 last time out against Vanderbilt.
I think that's why it's so important for Texas just to figure out a way to make this thing interesting late. Can you get it to 9-5 or closer? Make these Aggie relievers throw high leverage pitches late.
Well, Sims has only allowed 2 hits in this game. He's only walked 1. Jason Kelly, the A&M pitching coach. Texas made it interesting late last night. A couple of 1-out solo home runs from Robbins and Pack. But Freshcorn was able to finish it off. Shane Sedale threw 90 pitches in the start. And taken out without anybody out in the fifth. And this ball's rocketed deep to right field. They've done it again that direction. This one into the bleachers. 3rd home run of the season for Josh Livingston.
Livingston getting a chance to get out there a little bit because of the Rodriguez injury, and he's double last night, homer tonight. Again, Texas just trying to make this thing interesting late, and that's the way to do it. Put a couple quick ones on the board. Give yourself a puncher's chance in the last 3 innings. KP, this is a hanging cutter right here that just runs right into the barrel of the left-handed hitting Livingston.
Cutter that forgot to cut. That's the one that hits the barrel.
Top of the order, Ethan Mendoza. Mendoza grew up a Texas fan. He played his high school ball at South Lake Carroll before going to Arizona State. And he had a slump earlier this season, but they didn't knock him out of the leadoff spot. He had 0 for 16 week that included 0 for the Auburn series.
Oh,
my goodness.
Where'd he come from?
Caden Sorrell at Cape.
I don't feel like that needed to be that hard, but
Copian seemed to be fairly comfortably under it. Looked cool, though.
That's right. I get the glasses kind of on. Yeah, Hakopian was camped, and I thought it was, if anybody was going to call him off, I thought it was going to be Keel. And then here comes Sorrell late. Nice job of getting to the ground there at the end. Sunglasses are on.
Carson Tenney. Tenney, one of 6 kids. He's from Castle Pines, Colorado. His sister plays lacrosse at Michigan. He said coming into this one, he had never experienced a rivalry quite like this. Chatting before the game, he said best comp from an atmosphere standpoint he had from his Notre Dame time was when they played in Tallahassee against Florida State. Third in the nation among Division I catchers in home runs last few seasons.
Tommy, you brought up the hand movement of Duplantier earlier. We talked about Borba and some of the guys that do this. Now watch the difference here between Duplantier and Tenney's as he goes with that barrel move right where that ball smashed in the gap.
And that one will get to the wall on just one hop. Tenney heads into second with 2 out double.
So yeah, just the ability to sync up the hitch and that barrel tip with the leg lift, but also keep the bat connected to the body. So watch how the barrel will stay with him. There, stays just kind of right above his helmet. This is a really good look at it here. Watch, we get that hitch, knee up, barrel up, and then look how in his legs he is through that baseball as he continues to have a big-time weekend. A homer last night and now a double in this ball game.
And now Aiden Robbins.
Jason Kelly on his way out right now. I mean, especially with the guy at the plate, this game's one swing away from getting really interesting again.
Yep, and this is when you threw your best. Now they still have Weston Moss, but when you fired your best bullpen bullet last night for a significant period of time, the answers to get the remaining outs necessary in this ball game aren't crystal clear.
Out there with Gavin Lyons getting loose in the pen. This was Aiden Robbins last time.
This is how you make the game pretty interesting, KP. Take a hanging changeup and launch it over the student section to left field. His 3rd homer in his last 5 ABs. He's hit them all across the ballpark. And this is not the dude you want up with a runner in scoring position. It'll be interesting to see how careful they pitch to him here.
Hit it into Aggie Alley, and they threw the ball right back.
Okay. Went right at him.
What do you have last year? 6 home runs?
Mm-hmm. Hit 420.
Yeah.
And again, it's such a mature approach. Schloss talked about it. Love to hit the ball middle oppo. And I think if you talk to most hitting coaches, Troy Tulowitzki is good as anybody.
they would rather deal with the guy that already knows how to let the ball travel and then kind of teach them how to catch a couple out in front. Especially later in a guy's career, it's sometimes really hard to teach a guy to trust his hands and back the baseball up. But when you got a guy like Aiden Robbins who already comes in excellent at that phase of hitting, now you just get him to go, hey man, let's take some chances out in front. Let's see if we can pull some balls over that left field wall. And he's clearly listened and applied that teaching very well this season.
Last year, 5th in the nation in on-base percentage. And 6th in average, as Berkey mentioned, .422.
It's interesting. You got two of the top 2 batting average guys in the country, not in Power 4 leagues, that both are playing in this ball game with Jake Dewar and Aiden Robbins.
So in this inning, a home run, a double, and a walk.
And as easy as it sounds to just say, yeah, pitch around Aiden Robbins, get to Anthony Pack Jr. This has been the best. Yeah, this has been the best Longhorn on the team with runners in scoring position.
Well, he just missed one last time too. I mean, he hit the slider out yesterday, and he just missed hitting the slider out earlier today.
8-game hit streak for Pack now. Sims has thrown 25 pitches this inning.
They are slowing the game down, aren't they? I mean, this.
Well, Lions should be ready.
Yeah, man, this is interesting. If they were going to get him, you'd think they would go get him. He's been up there throwing long enough.
Generally, when you're just standing there, it's a decent indication that you're probably ready.
We're having some giggles on the mound.
Probably talking about Chili Fest in Kansas. How do you have a Chili Fest with no chili?
No change here, doesn't look like. No, that changed my mind. See, that's just so interesting to me. Like you said, KP, he's not even throwing bullets down there. Like, why?
No, that's where I think in that situation, I think it's better to get him in early.
Yeah.
4 2/3 for Aiden Sims. He'll leave with a 6-run lead, but a couple of Longhorns on base. Gavin Lyons entering for the Aggies. Four 2/3 for Aiden Sims. A couple walks and 3 strikeouts. Be a spectator the rest of the way. Gavin Lyons takes over. Sophomore from Connecticut. 6'3" right-hander. 16th appearance. Unblemished record with an ERA of 5.20.
Yeah, a little different arm angle too. A little different look right here. I think some of this, the discussion would have just been, all right, do we want to give the freshman Anthony Pack Jr. a different look? You know, obviously, this doesn't figure into the equation, but Sims finishes the innings in line for the win. At this point, go to the bullpen. Gavin Lyons pitched a fair amount in the SEC. He's had 6 appearances already in conference. Now the question is, how far can he go, and do you have to activate Weston Moss? Do you have to get him up and throw today? He is definitely live if they need him to finish his game. If not, you would think he would start tomorrow.
Do you think, as far as Moss is concerned, if he gets up today, then they have to get him in?
Not necessarily, but I would say if he gets up, he's coming.
Gotcha. 1-0 to Anthony Pack Jr. Berkey, you aware that Gavin Lyons got 8 warm-up pitches?
Yeah, I'm glad he's good and comfortable.
I wish we had a second channel for people who could hear our discussion while we're in commercial break. You want to change baseball rules?
Well, I just think it's interesting that we take care of pitchers so much that they get to 8 practice pitches on the mound before the rest of the game can continue. And I just think we need to start doing that in all sports. Like if we sub the 2-guard in, he should get to take like 3 or 4 3-pointers before the game continues. Field goal kickers, why do they have to come in cold? Why can't they get a couple practice runs out?
I feel like this is the stuff like when you wake up at 2 o'clock in the morning, you like think this stuff out.
It's just you pitchers, like we baby you. So why don't I get to take BP before every at bat?
Some of us wake up in the middle of the night worried about our kids or our mortgage or anything. He's worried about warm-up pitches. No worries for Gavin Lyons. He got to warm up and then he took advantage of it. Them's the rules, Chris Berg.
Well, he clearly used his warm-up pitch as well. Gavin Lyons, a little front door two-seamer here, KP. Lock him up across the front door. Anthony Pack Jr. frozen pizza, and the Aggies avoid the threat.
LSU and Coastal Carolina. This is a clash of clubs with championship pedigrees. That ball lays into left field. It gets down. Lyons went up the middle. It gets down.
The Tigers got it all going downhill right now, boys.
Incentive's pounding the strike zone. He's the guy you want on the mound.
He's gone. That's 9 for Anthony Ianson. And that's it. Tiger Town is Title Town again.
Black and Bluebell Park, where Texas A&M raced out to an 8-1 lead, and now up 9-3. Terrence Kill the second. Drew a walk in the first. They hit by pitch and laid down a sack last night. Here's Robbins. How do you guys feel about the RPI?
I feel that it's amazing what can happen in one day. That's why there's some issues too. Arkansas jumped, what was it, 11 spots in one day with that win yesterday at Alabama. Louisville did win today.
Some pretty big name brands right there.
Andy was down late. Oh, you got a chance to win 2 out of 3 in Nashville this weekend. Yeah, there's some real big brands.
You got some teams that are used to making Omaha reservations year in and year out that are outside the top 50.
They've gone final in Nashville. Oklahoma won 6-5. Andy now 7-8 in the league.
We had some performances over the last couple days to start this weekend. We got Steele Murdoch going in and outdueling Jackson's Flora at UCSB.
Yeah, I'm all for the blue steel look, Scott.
Yeah, I did some digging on the stuff there. Fastball gets up to 98, a crazy swing and miss slider. Yeah, and how about those two, Murdoch and Redmond, 35 punch outs, just 1 walk between them. Came to Johnson 7 ribbies in a slugfest in Nashville.
How many strikeouts does Steele have in his previous game?
5.
That was against Hawaii. Did you ever play Hawaii? You played on the West Coast.
Yeah, we went to Hawaii.
How'd that go?
That wasn't very good that day.
Why not?
Well, we went over a day early, which probably wasn't the best idea since I was starting game 1. Rented a scooter, dumped it, lost my security deposit.
On the scooter?
Yep.
At least it wasn't a hotel.
Oh, that was Saturday night.
Ashton Larson handles the final. It's the greatest show on dirt. And right now, A&M in control. Hey, football in action. We got this year's NFL Draft in Pittsburgh. 3-day event begins Thursday, April 23rd at 8 Eastern. We'll have every pick once again on ESPN with our usual expert analysis. Also available on the NFL Network. And as always, ABC's coverage focuses on the prospect's journey to the draft.
Mike Elko, big baseball guy. He was here yesterday.
Kids player,
Came in
I
a booth
believe.
with us last year.
Telmo Becerra looks at a first pitch strike. Got an undergrad degree from Stanford. Probably always got the security deposit back on his hotel room. Unlike another Stanford guy in the ballpark today.
When you say it was a bad outing, like, did we make it out of the third?
Barely.
Okay.
But yeah, they're mean to me too.
We got run in the fourth.
Went back and got my scooter.
Here's Kellner. Nice play by Grohovic. How are they mean to you? Because you were bad or because you wore glasses?
So same statement. That's totally unnecessary. I'm not even going to answer the question. Man, you could see this coming too, Bergie. You said it. And to go out and get it. I mean, we talk about Grohovic offensively, and obviously there's plenty of there. He can handle himself over at first too.
Well, it's easy to say just, you know, put whoever at first base, but when you see somebody over there that can really play the position, it is a huge difference maker defensively for a team. Nobody handles the ball more than the first baseman besides the pitcher and the catcher. I mean, it is a extremely valuable position.
So he handles it third most.
Correct.
0-2. Where did that help you as a middle infielder? Like, where did the confidence with a great defensive first baseman, where did it come and play the most?
Well, you didn't fear the low miss. You knew when you had somebody that was really good around the bag and had soft hands. I remember Adrian Gonzalez telling me, just don't miss high. I got everything else. I can't jump, but I can do everything else. And I mean, he was rangy. I mean, he's 6'1", 6'2", and had length, but he wasn't. He didn't get paid to jump. So just miss low, and you knew he could go east and west too.
I thought it was interesting earlier this season, just early in the MLB season, the Giants were playing a guy over at first who never played first before. He couldn't handle a throw, and his third baseman let him know about
He did,
it.
yes.
So in this era of positional versatility, what do you lose by putting a shortstop at first base?
Well, I think the nuance of how to work the bag. I mean, there's some things over there as far as getting to the edges of the base that can really increase your width as a first baseman, that if you're not really skilled at that and have the experience of doing that, you can make a throw that a great first baseman would make look like a good throw. You can make it look awful. And most of that has to do with the footwork of getting to the edges. Every once in a while, you got to go into foul territory. And then I think one of the hardest things for converted left side of the guys going over first base is they want to pick everything. And sometimes you just need to get out there and catch it in the air. And sometimes they turn balls that could have been caught in the air into picks.
Borba goes down looking again. He's got the hat trick for the second straight day.
And Gavin Lyons has some starts this year too. He's got 3 of them, but against Vanderbilt last weekend, he did go 3 2/3, and that's an important part of this, bringing him in. Obviously, you want to win the ball game, but the more length you can get out of him, save the balance of that bullpen. Ideally, save Weston Moss to put him in position to start tomorrow.
Here's Larson 0 for 1. Talk about first base, new position to him. Talking around the cage today, and he said, as I learn more about the position, I try to pick something else up, something new up every day, every game, every practice. He said, because there's so many things that happen over at first base you don't know until you know. Things that he's never given thought to. part of that was the bunt defense last year.
Yeah, the bunt defense, some of that stuff. I remember the first time I ever played first base, standing over there going, there was a base hit to center field, and I remember watching the throw come in going, where's the cutoff man? And then going, oh, wait, I'm the cutoff man. I make this emergency break. Yeah. Oh, no. And I make this emergency break towards the ball. You can picture just like a guy clearly being late, running, and I don't get there. And so the rest of the game, I was like out there talking to myself. I'm the cut, center to right. I'm the cut, center to right. I mean, it's just not natural. In the middle infield, you're never the cut on a single with a runner in scoring position. And so those types of things, especially when you're an outfielder, those things do not come naturally.
Nothing intuitive, Jaden Duplantier. Texas knows what this is like in a rivalry game, but on the other side, they swept Oklahoma for the first time since 2014. A couple of walk-off wins after a Game 1 whitewashing 14-0 run rule. On the other side of it today, they trailed 8-1 after one. In the Big 12, Kansas trying to sweep number 12 UCF. 1-0 Jayhawks lead early in that one in Lawrence.
They'd be leading the Big 12.
Yeah, 11-3.
The end of this weekend.
The Big 12 is going to be a wild ride.
Kellner back, called off by Keel. No runs, a hit, one left time. Gavin Grahovac due up second for Texas A&M when we head to the home half.
Fans, the ESPN app has all of ESPN all in one place. Visit activate.espn.com to see if you have ESPN Unlimited as part of your TV package for no additional cost. It's all of ESPN all in one place. Sign up or activate now.
Bottom of the sixth, game 2 of this 3-game series. Tom Hart, Kyle Peterson, Chris Burke. Billy Palladino producing, our esteemed director, Jeff Evers. And Boston Kellner gets plunked.
Well, I feel like I've said this before. The free passes in front of Grahovac is not the strategy you're trying to implement. A two-seamer that just runs right into the elbow pad of Boston Kellner. And now you're in the stretch facing Grahovac. They did actually get him out last time.
Leadoff man for both sides got on every other inning last night. The recipe for a crisp game.
No, that's how you end up 9-8.
It was 2 1-2-3 innings the entire night.
Grahovac just has that vibe right now. There just doesn't look to be a lot of places to go to get him out.
It never feels comfortable on the mound. When the guy standing at the plate looks incredibly comfortable.
So how do you make him uncomfortable?
I throw behind him.
you're getting early takes. Every swing looks like it's an A+ move. And you could just, and again, the power is such that he knows he doesn't have to cheat to do damage. Great pitch. That's one of those where it's really good on both ends. If you're Grahovac, you do not want to swing at that 2-1, and that's just a perfectly landed breaking ball from the walls.
What are you thinking as a pitcher when you see that?
You're hoping that you don't have to ask for another baseball because it stayed fair. I hope the reason that you do is because he fouls it.
That was the definition of getting away with one right there. Good little battle going here. Actually got him to extend the zone there, but he was able to just catch a piece of it. At some point, you wonder if he tries to go back to the two-seamer, KP. That's a bunch of breaking balls in a row.
He's been really breaking ball heavy since he came in. And over the course of the year, he throws over 50% fastballs. That definitely has not been the case today.
Back-to-back uncomfortable swings.
Walker had been warming for Texas.
Accelerated. How about that? 70 miles an hour.
He hadn't thrown a pitch below 82 miles an hour since he's come in the ball game. And that's, yeah, to your point of what do you do to a guy when he looks too comfortable? You take 15 miles off something. That was just a split change look that he turned over like a slider, and Grahovac's like that. That wasn't in the report.
No.
That one wasn't in there.
Sometimes you gotta tip your cap. That was well done.
So can I ask a dumb question?
Invite those.
How do you take that much off?
Grip. Grip, or you slow your arm down, which you don't want to do. Right. But it just turns to grip. I mean, you can hold the ball way deep in your hand.
Good contact by Sorrell, and that one will fly away. 2-run home run for Caden Sorrell. Another bubble blizzard. SEC best 17th and his third hit of the game.
I mean, we got a little tailwind, boys, but that ball was impressive. I mean, that thing giggled at the stands over the left center field wall as it went flying by.
When they're in the top row of the outfield bleachers and they turn their back to watch it land, you know that ball was well touched.
Aiden Robbins gave it about a 3-step jog.
It's Aggie Alley right there. It's Bottle Cap Alley a few miles away. That one may have ended up Bottle Cap Alley.
Now through the Aggies, you start thinking about getting out of here with a 10-run roll. Talk about saving your pitching to try to sweep a series. You're only a few runs away and a few more outs.
Hook foul. So the largest comeback of the year for Texas is 3. And Brody Wall is sitting at a career high in innings pitched. And you don't want to punt on a game as a competitor. But both sides can save some arms for tomorrow. All giggles in that bullpen.
If you're Texas, you're only a few outs away here from losing your first series. I mean, it's been a heck of a start to conference play for Texas. They haven't been in this spot yet this year.
They have been on Friday. I mean, they had lost 4 of their first 5 Fridays in SEC play, but up until this point, they had won every series.
Colpian's the only guy who hadn't been invited to the hit party. He's 0 for 7.
Brody Walls in this inning has thrown a pitch 96 miles an hour and a pitch 70 miles an hour.
Off the back of the mound, Mendoza. 2 down.
Caden Sorrell with as much power as anybody in the country, and that looked like a, oh, that was a 2-seamer. KP, something off speed that just kind of runs out over the plate, and he can look at Aiden Robbins, and in the back row, everybody just turned around watching that ball fly. And you talk about getting below the baseball. That's a ball that's so easy to roll over to the second baseman. He gets down there below it, and it's a no-doubter to the gap.
Crown and reach.
He's swinging it right now, right? I wouldn't put anything above it.
What you're saying? He's a tall tree?
No.
He's living at the top of a tall tree.
Oh, living at the top. Okay.
Right now he's kind of off the ground. It's interesting you talk about Sorrell having a chance at the Triple Crown. The guy who's right there next to him is also the guy that he just passed up for the current home run lead in the conference. Daniel Jackson hitting about 20, coming into the day, was hitting 20 points higher. Excuse me, he's hitting 30 points and had the same amount of homers, and right behind him in Ribby. So those two are going to be pretty fun to watch coming down the stretch as we start to talk about Player of the Year in the conference. Still a lot of season left, but those two, I'd say, along with Trey Phelps, are making a pretty strong case here early on as the best hitters in the league.
Have we had an SEC Triple Crown winner since Brent Brooker?
No.
That was the last one.
And only 2 in league history. Rafael Palmeiro also did it. Brooker did it in 17. Palmeiro in 84.
Brooker's turned out all right.
Yeah,
they told KP and I he was too young. I mean, he was too old.
Yeah, he's too old.
He's too old.
Too old.
22.
It's like Major League. It's too high.
Yeah.
Too high. What do you mean? He ain't too old.
He's done all right.
Who's the they in that comment?
A couple scouts.
The industry. I mean, he went like 32nd or whatever he went, and you're like, this is the best hitter in the country. Yeah, but he's old. Okay. But if he gets the big leagues at 24 and rakes, what's it matter?
Sure. Time spent on the farm has been compressed over the last couple of years, and that will only continue. They may shave down the minor league teams again.
Yes.
Of course, could have a work stoppage next year anyway, but
might shave down the draft again.
Yeah. Good for the game or bad for the game that
shrink the draft again to make the sport a little bit more like the NBA and the NFL, where if you're a top prospect, you're not sitting in the minors for 4 years.
Well, it's good for the college game. It will continue if they shrink the draft. There'll be more of the elite high school players continue to come to college baseball.
Backhanded behind third by Borba. And Larson looking comfortable over at first. Caden Sorrell looking comfortable with everything he's doing.
Yeah, it would appear that way. How about 3 hits? A single, a double, and this one goes farther than all of them. Slider that doesn't slide. That Mr. Sorrell stays on. 107 off the bat into left center field. They turn around and watch it land for Caden Sorrell. Home run number 17 in an 8-run Aggie lead.
Well, it was just a bit ago, but let's take it back to the first. The skies opened up with A&M at the plate in a 2-1 lead. When play resumed, it resumed in a big way. Bear Harris in a 2-run double. Gavin Gaholback a triple. Caden Sorrell a double. After the rain delay, it was 8-1. And here's Josh Livingston.
Coming into today, Luke Harrison had never given up 4 runs in an SEC game. Today he gave up 8 earnings in 2/3 of an inning.
And they were loud.
I just think if you're a pitching staff that relies on left-handed pitching, the Aggies have something for you. Like this is a team that just continues to do damage against left-handers.
Ethan Mendoza takes a strike.
Can you get a photo of this rainbow, please?
Mendoza 1 for 3. Interesting conversation pregame with third base coach Nolan King. We talked about, Kyle asked him directly about how he sends runners home. And he shared with us when he was at LSU with Paul Maneri, it was a big windup, kind of, I guess you would say,
old school, yeah,
old school, to Short and Kellner. Well, then he's at Texas, and Troy Tulowitzki's on the staff, and Tulo sidles up to him and he goes, "Hey, why do you do that?" Because if you don't say anything and you're stoic, and Tulo referenced specifically third base coach for the Giants back in his playing days, he said he just stood there and his sign to go home was nothing at all, and on a double cut on a relay, we would lose the fact that they were sending the runner because we couldn't pick up out of the corner of our eye the actions of the third base coach.
Yeah, it's an interesting craft, coaching third. There's a lot more nuance to it than people realize, and it's also extremely important. I think at the younger ages, oh, look at that rainbow, that is beautiful. I think at the younger ages, Tommy,
squirrel,
yes, it's very important to communicate. Like, you would never want a young, I'd say high school and down third base coach. I think you would want him to overly communicate, just because the base runners need so much help.
Being very vocal and
yes, get here, but once you get to the older ages and you get as much practice time as these two teams get, I do think there's some value in trying to stay as low key as possible and not helping the defense make their calls.
I had never heard it explained that way, and I'm sure you as a base runner probably had. But the basis of it makes all the sense in the world.
Yeah, there's a lot of guys that are going to that, which is very nonverbal and really low key with their motions.
And a swing and a miss to close the 7th. Time to stretch, and feels like A&M has found the pot of gold. 1-run victory last night, up 8 here, and moments away from a series win. It
has turned into a gorgeous late afternoon here in Aggieland. Second game of a 3-game series between Texas and Texas A&M. And Texas has gone back to the bullpen.
It's been a while since he's been out there. Michael Winter, this is his first appearance since March 8th. Mono set him down for a while. Stuff's really good, and obviously short stints this year, but the outcome has been very good too. I know maybe it hasn't looked at the last 2 games, although today the bullpen's been good for Texas. This just another reason why when he is back and healthy, this Texas pitching staff gets even deeper.
Let's take a look back at some of the recent national champions in college baseball.
We're going to see a lot of SEC flavor here. The Doors in 2019, then we had COVID, then the 2 Mississippi schools traded punches, LSU, Tennessee, and LSU again. That's a lot of SEC flavor, KP. And this year, it's interesting because you've got the SEC contenders, which I think the entire really top 6 or 8 teams in the SEC, you could probably make a case could have a chance. But yeah. Georgia Tech and UCLA are real threats to the SEC stranglehold on the national championship. Agree?
100%. Yeah. I'm sorry. I get lost in the history of Texas baseball is pretty incredible. 38 times it's been to Omaha.
And I would certainly put them on the short list of favorites to be back. But the Aggies don't want to hear that this weekend. They have thrown a couple punches here early and look poised to take this series.
It's Terrence Kill the second.
The UCLA group's going to be interesting. We've had some recent examples of teams that have just run away from the pack with incredible regular seasons that haven't been able to get it done. Some of them haven't even gotten to Omaha. Right? I'm thinking Vandy in 2013. Terrence Kiel shoots one through the 6-hole.
He needed that. He needed something good offensively just to.
Vandy 2013, Oregon State 2017, Tennessee 2022. There's been kind of some super teams that haven't been able to get across the finish line. UCLA would qualify as that kind of team this year.
This is such the state of college baseball right now. Florida State got swept. They were number 5. North Carolina lost the opener to Clemson. Last I looked, they were in the 14th to try to avoid losing that series
today.
An unranked
Clemson team.
Yeah.
So is there one common denominator among those power teams that didn't finish that would apply to UCLA or could possibly?
I think the common denominator is just the weight of the bullseye of number 1 and the expectations that are associated with their, you get to a certain point in your season and there is only one goal. There's only one acceptable outcome at the end of the year, which is to win the whole thing. And I think you're hosting that super regional, and whoever comes in that building has nothing to lose.
Jordan Wilson caught looking. It's funny, in this day and age of sports, with the Masters this weekend, everybody talked about the pressure of going to sleep with the lead, no matter if it's a first round or second round, and then carrying those pressures over the next day. And well, Rory is living that right now.
It's a perfect analogy, Tom. The weight of you're supposed to win. The only acceptable result is to win and win convincingly. And then all of a sudden, things get tight. And you guys were there, right? You guys were there in Knoxville when
we got a balk. Lead. It's Kiel at second.
When Notre Dame beat Tennessee.
Yeah, and honestly, it was like, it was just total shock in the stand. I remember that game 3 when they got down in game 3, and the panic in the stands was so different because it had never entered their mind that they weren't going to go.
And I just think, you know, UCLA, what was it, 2015 or 20, no, it was 2019. Michigan beat UCLA at UCLA. I think UCLA was the #1 national seed that year. And so this coaching staff has felt that, where, you know, that Michigan team, I think, was like a 3 seed. They just won the Big Ten tournament, got on the heater. Yeah, it ended up. And so you know.
It takes both sides, right?
It does.
It usually takes a veteran team on the other side that's been through wars, played a lot of ball together.
Not intimidated, right? And so, and by the time you get to Super Regional, whoever's left is really dangerous.
Is it kind of silly, though, that on April 11th we're assigning that level to UCLA?
No, I don't think so.
Not based on what they've done.
And the league they're in, I just, no disrespect, I just don't see them, their record is going to be insane. If they have more than 5 losses at the end of the regular season, I'll be shocked. They have 2 right now. They've won 26 in a row.
Bear Harrison at the plate. Crowd was seated a good chunk of them, about 5.5 hours ago, and they are still primed.
Balked again. He just double set again. Started and stopped.
Hadn't been out there in a while, and
I don't know if this is a pitch comp thing. Like, is he not hearing it? He thinks he's hearing it. But he started to get set, then stopped, and then started again.
Every once in a while, you'd see guys do that when they got a sign they didn't think they would get. So when you look in, you think you're going to get something, and then you start to go up and realize, well, that one
he starts and then stops and then starts again. Home crowd smelling a run roll here.
They know the rules. Kid's got good stuff.
Spin,
he's got very good stuff. I mean, he's just a freshman. He's somebody they're excited. He could end up being a rotation guy, not this year, but down the road. He's got to get him healthy.
Borba coming home. The tag is there. Wow. Great hands by Carson Tinney.
Let's see play.
Texas A&M is challenging the out call at home plate. This play is under review.
This looked pretty good all the way around.
Oh, the tag.
He missed him on the swipe?
I don't think he missed him. He hit him in the helmet, and the question is, was his hand there first?
If the only place you got him was in the helmet, then it was late.
Here's the look. Yeah, he gets him in the face before the hand gets there.
Interesting talking to coaches about how they use their challenges. Had this conversation with Jay Johnson a couple of weeks ago.
After review, the runner is out. Texas A&M has 1 challenge remaining.
And Jay was mentioning, he said, listen, sometimes I will challenge bang plays that I'm not 100% sure we're going to win, but I feel like that play will impact win probability more than another play. And that's where I find the value of using the challenge.
Especially later.
Yeah.
Later in the ballgame, you're probably going to take a few more chances.
Nine-hole hitter, Austin Kellner. Didn't go. Plate appearances. Scored twice, drove in a run. Three straight balls.
The disappointment in the crowd. They were been waiting 7 innings to get ball 5 going.
There are a lot of things have gone their way today. That one hasn't happened yet.
That dude's waiting. To Kellner. High, but not very deep. And Robbins into the shadow of the scoreboard. To the 8th we go. 11-3 A&M. Top 20 showdown, and A&M is nearing a series win and would go for a sweep tomorrow. Only twice in series history have we had 4 consecutive games decided by 1 run. On either side of that run in the early 60s, a pair of 10-run games.
That 17-3 Georgia Tech win today, they were down 3-2 in the bottom of the 5th. Scored 15 runs in the 5th and the 6th to run.
Tough day for the Seminole bullpen.
Here's Aiden Robbins. Talking to Aiden about being a Yankees fan. No surprise, he's a Jeter fan alongside Robinson Cano, and he mentioned the fact, I thought this was really cool, and he is at Seton Hall. He and his teammates would regularly attend Yankees games. Jump on the train, hop out of Madison Square Garden, jump on the subway, and you're there.
Not a bad way to spend an evening.
No.
As a college baseball player.
Of course, we saw the guys from the Air Force Academy, that baseball team, watching Paul Skeens pitch in the WBC earlier this year. All in there. Jersey tops at the game.
That was cool. The 2 Air Force Academy guys. Griffin Jacks was on that team too.
What you looking for?
Gavin Lyons getting a little bit extra meal money tonight. He go out and hold this game the way that he did, and at this point, I think it's his ball game to go as far as he possibly can. That has changed tomorrow from a bullpen standpoint significantly for A&M.
Just missed. Perky, you like the flow of Aiden Robbins? You like the long locks coming out of the back of the helmet?
I'm in on all his giddy up.
Yeah, he's got a lot of giddy up. Well, you're going to love it even more because that's great hair, and every year he shaves his head for St. Baldrick's Foundation. Help raise money for childhood cancer. And he shaves this one deep into left field, and it's rocketed off of the pillar and gone. Second of the game 4th of the series. Hair or no, this dude can swing the bat.
I mean, that's 109 at 21 degrees. I mean,
what does that mean?
Explain.
21 degrees is about the bottom of most home run launch. Like, that is...
Unless you hit it 109.
Unless you hit it 109. So 15 degrees is typically a one-hopper to the outfield. So 6 degrees higher, and this ball gets out to the gap. Like, I mean, that ball goes 380 feet at 21 degrees. Look at it leave the angle right there. You can see that thing, how flat that ball left his bat, but just so much juice. That ball rides out of here with ease.
Here's Anthony Pack Jr. Bounced into a double play before the rains came back in the first.
You almost, if you're Jim Schlossnagle, like, you love to see your star play so well, but there's a piece of it that has to sting a little bit if you're not able to pull a miracle off here to have your dude hit 4 homers in 2 games and potentially lose them both. Aiden Robbins, talk about some draft helium. He is trending straight upwards right now.
First hit of the game for Pack.
Baseball player. There's really nothing he can't do well.
I totally agree. I mean, even the route he took in left field earlier in this game to make that play, maybe even before it started raining. But I mean, a home run yesterday on a first pitch slider that he pulled down the right field line, and then now with the shift on, just recognizes that the base runners are an absolute premium, takes it the other way. And that is a super impressive freshman.
And he looked you in the eye and shook your hand and introduced himself.
Right away. Yeah.
Put that as another tool.
He introduced himself because he didn't know who I was. Who are you and why are you standing by the cage right now? I got a pass and everything. I'm okay.
He looked at Berkey and said, "You know, hot dog guy, huh?"
Could you give me his number?
I want to meet that guy.
He's had a lot of fun today.
Today? Guy has fun every day.
You met a guy wearing a hot dog suit that isn't happy?
Yeah, I don't think that guy has too many bad
all those
days.
guys that you run across wearing hot dogs.
Yeah. Can't wait to get you yours.
Sarah got a little off balance. Who wants it? You think he wears the hot dog outfit to any other event besides Aggie baseball?
Yes. Econ 1.
Econ 1? Is that not like 101? Just shortening it? Or?
I was 1.
Okay, that's what they do at Stanford?
I was the only one in the class.
Berkey, some people take accounting and some people take counting.
Okay. Econ 1.
Kellner backs up, goes to second for 1, and they got it. 6-4-3 double play turn by Texas A&M.
Nicely done there by the freshman. Don't make a easy play hard. Back up, get a big hop, make sure the first one, and then give Hakopian a bunch of credit for turning this thing in the blink of an eye
Wednesday is Jackie Robinson Day. We've got a special ESPN telecast for you. The Mets and Dodgers will be finishing up their 3-game series. Joe Bach, Ron Darling, and Oral Hershiser on the call. Coverage begins at 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific. Carl Ravitch and the Baseball Tonight crew will be at Dodger Stadium. Shohei Ohtani scheduled to get the start for the 2-time defending World Series champs.
Doesn't he have like a long scoreless streak going right now?
Sure does.
It's pretty good at baseball.
I had a really cool conversation with Freddie Freeman when I was out there for the playoffs last year, and chatting with him in the clubhouse. There was nobody else around. We get the new pitcher Cal Higgins in the game for Texas. And I asked Freddie, I said, Freddie, you had a chance to play with a couple of Hall of Famers in their final season. How is Clayton Kershaw handling it relative to how Chipper Jones handled it? He said it was the coolest thing ever. That there would be days when the family wasn't in LA where Kershaw would hang out at the ballpark and he would sit in the stands after a night game at Dodger Stadium and smoke a cigar and just sit there and let it all wash over him, knowing that his playing career was coming to an end. Then he also added that Kershaw was in trouble once his playing days ended because he already had a dad. And when he stopped working out, it was going to be real trouble. At that moment, the lefty walks by in a towel and he goes, "You're talking about me, aren't you, Freddie?" "Yeah, Kersh. Yeah, yeah." First pitch strike. And Higgins ahead in the count, 0-2. Shadows getting longer here for a game that started at 2 o'clock local time. We sat through a rain delay a couple hours. Gavin Grahovac took advantage after that rain delay, smoked it. Tripled and played a couple. I actually scored 3. How about this aura?
Yeah.
Becerra.
I got a trivia question for you. Buy a Fresca if you get this one.
Oh, boy.
Cal Higgins from Kearney, Nebraska. Okay. Kearney High School. Give me the mascot.
The Blue Hens.
No. The Shockers.
Nope. I win.
So you're buying yourself a Fresco? Okay. You're going to share it with the world?
It's Bearcats.
Okay.
You know, you presented that like it was some esoteric.
No,
brand
it
of
was
master.
presented intentionally that way because I thought you were going to go off the map and try to find something. But
What was the word you used, Tom?
I don't know.
Esoteric.
Shot to Larson. He takes it himself.
Esoteric is like unique.
Sure. Break out the thesaurus. We had a couple of defensive changes for Texas now. Maddox Mansour is the new right fielder. Tenney gets a couple innings off. Andrew Hermes takes over behind the plate. Andrew's dad, Chris, was a draft pick of the Blue Jays in '91, and then a long time high school coach. That one misses outside. Trivia time. I'll buy you a Fresca.
Okay.
You got to get it right. Who went 17th overall in the 1991 draft? The hint. So he played at Florida State.
Charlie Ward, you owe me.
Berkey, give some thought to this.
Played at Florida State, 91.
This is not some random dude.
Eduardo Perez.
Thank you. Did you come up with that on your own?
Huh?
Did you come up with that on your own?
There was just like a voice in my head that was telling me.
This one down the line. It is a fair ball and into the corner for Chris Akopian, who's finally coming up with a knock. That's his first hit this series.
I'd say he kind of needed that one, too.
Yeah, he did. They have not slowed down with their enthusiasm.
And that'll bring Jake Dewar up. Dewar is 0 for 2. Fun one tonight in the SEC. Kentucky is on the road playing from Park in Auburn. And talking with the Texas coaching staff, and guys who've been around the league, they are raving about the atmosphere at Auburn now.
That's pretty awesome what they've done with that ballpark.
Yeah, no longer a quaint little ballpark. It's now a full-fledged SEC environment.
Helps when you're pretty good, too.
Yeah.
Instituting a rule that Aggie coach, if there's a ball 5 chant going on, you cannot swing at first pitch.
I like it. Unless your name is Grahovec or Soroka.
We did a very interesting analytical conversation with Michael Early yesterday about taking the first pitch. If you take 0-0, that is a foul ball. Your OBP will jump by 60 points no matter the result of that first pitch. The end of the at-bat OPS. Pardon me, OBP. Why is this? You fall behind in the count 0-1. You would think that'd be a disadvantage in your on-base percentage.
Well, if you do, you do. But that's collecting all the possible counts that can happen from there on out, right? So it's just it's not just 0-1 or, you know.
I told you I was accounting.
Yes,
it's a counting class. It's not accounting.
It's a big picture stat. That being said, I think it shows that even though a lot of people love to hit the first pitch, the point isn't to hit the ball. The point is to have to get a great pitch to drive, especially when you're ahead in the count. And as the at-bat unfolds, there's oftentimes the opportunity, number one, to reach base freely, hit by pitch or wall. But number two, to gain the information necessary to then be on time to drive the ball. And so, you know, I think a lot of hitters, especially in this league, can struggle internally with not wanting to look bad. And so sometimes they then go up and make early soft contact. And I think you study the best teams and the best hitters, and they're not afraid to get deep in their count.
Nice stop by Tinney. Where would an 0-0 pitch fall, or pardon me, by Ermis behind the plate? Where would an 0-0 pitch fall, generally speaking, the predictability scale relative to other counts?
As far as what pitch you're going to get, I think it's changed a lot.
So we go to the 9th. Texas needs 7 to tie and 8 for the lead. Texas A&M. And the tradition continues.
Oh, no.
I guess you just can't help yourself.
Better have got free tickets. That's the only explanation for that.
Ashton Larson will lead off for Texas.
Wave time.
Oh.
On TV.
You know, Berkey, when you're on TV as much as I am.
That's right.
Here's Keel. Berkey, when you're at Tennessee, did you guys, anybody really notable from a rivalry standpoint during your era?
Kentucky, Vanderbilt, Florida. You know, your traditional like SEC East rivals.
Teams you faced on a regular basis.
South Carolina was really good then, but it was always the games in the East were they did mean a little bit more. I mean, when you played LSU, you knew you were playing the gold standard, so there was just such a different vibe to that. Going down to Mississippi State, you know, you still had the environments, right? But as far as like juice and rivalry, it was the teams from the East.
Here's Maddox Mansour, freshman from Carrollton, Georgia, his first plate appearance of the weekend. So that's why in the game against Kentucky your junior year that you were kind of showing off and pimping some hits and got drilled in the back.
Why are you bringing up old stuff, bro?
Because we're old. That's all the stuff we got.
Kentucky used to like to remind me that I was from there regularly. It didn't really matter how well I did or didn't do in the game.
Mansour goes down looking. And Lyons trying to sew this thing up.
How about you, Gavin Lyons? Have yourself a day, kid. He has been fantastic. I mean, there was a point in this game when Aiden Sims came out where you're wondering, okay, how are they going to get
5th inning?
Yeah, how are they going to get the last 12 outs? And boy, has Gavin Lyons made it look easy.
The shift on for Josh Livingston. Lyons has allowed 3 hits over 4 innings of relief and a first pitch strike.
Came into this game in the SEC this year, 6 appearances, have given up 19 hits in 11 innings.
Wow.
I think the 12th man will be primed for a sweep tomorrow.
I bet they show up.
Texas out of it from the jump today. And a strikeout to end it. Back-to-back Ks for Lions. A&M takes the series. 1-run victory last night and a dominating performance for the Aggies today.
It took a while to get there. I'm not sure that Michael Early and the boys wearing maroon care much about that today. It was dominating today all the way around for Texas A&M, who has now won the series and moves to a pretty impressive number in the SEC right now. 9-5 with 1 to play against this Texas team.
Yeah, how about the 2 teams now tied in the standings in the SEC. A&M has a series win that is going to carry throughout this season and look very good come Selection Monday, and for Texas, they need tomorrow's game, and they've got their dude, Dylan Galantis, going. So you like their chances, but regardless of what happens tomorrow, the Aggies have made a major statement this weekend.
Then Texas will look for the bounce back. Jim Schlossnagle comes back to Aggieland. His teams have dropped the first 2 of this series. Aggies brought out the big bats. An 8-run first inning decided this entire thing after the rain storm. For our fantastic crew, including Kyle Peterson and Chris Burke, I'm Tom Hart. Thanks for being with us. We'll see you later as the Aggies go for the series sweep tomorrow afternoon at 1 o'clock Central. Have a great weekend, everybody.